certainly hope not anyway. And at the end of the day, you know, as long as it does the two things, which is please the eye and be serviceable enough to actually be worn either whilst filming or partying, whatever you want to do when you've got the costume on. I personally have got to say, this is a step towards producing my own, not necessarily a Halo movie, because I've got to say, you know, Halo is not where I came into Pepakura from. I came into Pepakura from wanting to produce projects for education and also things for my amateur movie making. Now then, one of the things that does seem to be hard for Pepakura to do, and this is where I've got to say a certain amount of this may be that I need to learn Pepakura more, the actual program itself, because I haven't found it easy to just get hold of any object and explode it out. There does seem to be a learning curve that I have yet failed to go through, which allows you to break a part up. And I've got to say, I applaud the guys at the 405th who have actually sat down and put the time into taking what must have been originally either 3D studio files or whatever Microsoft used inside Halo 3, to then break those out into usable Pepakura files. Now, it is going to take a third mix to do this, and so I won't bore you by doing the third mix on camera. What we'll do is we'll come back to this when the whole thing is set, and I can start looking at and make a decision about what I'm going to do with regard to fiberglassing. I think I actually may go around and do a bit of thicker coating, because I'm noticing that the first coat isn't as even as it could be, and the piece that I've got left isn't a full third, so it may make sense to actually go and revisit some of these bits at the back. But we'll bring you the next piece. Right, and on we go. I've done the whole of the inside now, and right up into the visor section with just a coat of the Jesmonite with the Thixotrope in it. Now what I'm going to try, I'm actually going to try the Jesmonite without Thixotrope, so I'm actually not going to bother using the Thixotrope, but this time I'm going to try with the fiberglass. Now then, as I say, this is a fiberglass matting I've never used before. It does look quite interesting, and one of the things I've got to say before we carry on is it is the actual helmet, although it isn't cured off, it is actually starting to feel quite supported. It is feeling quite durable. If it was a stage prop, I would be tempted really to not do a lot more. I might consider putting a coating on the outside, but unfortunately I have noticed that there has been a bit of movement in the panels. They've lost the evenness, and I presume that's the damp. Well, it has to be the dampness from the first coat. So whether there's a way of solving that, I don't know, but the helmet has kept it, overall it's kept its shape. It does mean that if I'm going to get this down to looking good, I will have to put an outer coating on and possibly sand that down to bring these panels back to absolutely flat. The question is, does it need it? Do you go that step? Would I have been better starting on the outside of the helmet? I think I would have perhaps lost some of the definition, and ultimately the Jesmonite is all about providing strength. You know, hopefully the actual look will come from the final like a gel coat. So we'll have to see when it's all to play for, as they say. Right, so need a... One of the things I did learn when I was younger was that if you try and put these like this on in big sheets, you will regret it. Partly because it doesn't form well. So what I'm going to do is cut. I'm going to first of all find out how many. There's 4 layers there. So I'm going to start by cutting it into 80mm strips. Not the easiest thing to cut, but a pair of scissors will get you through. And then I will probably shorten these down into probably lengths of about 200mm, so that you're never handling more than a short piece of fiberglass, and then overlap them as we go. So I'll do that and come back to you. Right, so we'll cut some fiberglass up and we've got a mix ready to go. Now then, normally with fiberglass the matting is very tight, and what I would normally do, or what I've done in the past, is literally put a coating on the work surface, put the matting on, and then put a coat, effectively stipple into the back of it. I don't think I'm going to need to do that with this because it's such an open weave. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop the fiberglass in place and then stipple through the fiberglass, and I've got to say it's working quite nicely because it's such an open weave. What's happening, you can't actually see it from where you are, is the Jesmonite is going through the glass, sticking to the other side without having to use a double coat, which hopefully should be faster. Now when I'm overlapping them by about 25mm, having got the first one down, of course the second one, the overlap automatically helps you. I've got to say I'm very impressed with this fiberglass. It's for what we're doing, it's a lot better idea than what you would be using normally for car repairs. Of course, I've got foxed by this because what's happened is there's a fold in the actual sheet, and when I've cut it I've missed the fold, so then the little pieces are a bit too long. Now then, one of the things I did find, this you can't tell from where you are, but this is a very cold room, and the first helmet was struggling to get into its first set. I've got a fire going in the corner, but it's literally doing nothing more than just taking the edge off it so that I can work without a jacket. It's actually snowing outside. So I've got to say, what I'm doing is as soon as I've done a piece, I'm then moving it straight into the house so that it can go through its sets actually in a warm room. And I think it's certainly seems to have made this quite strong. I'm quite interested to see just how strong it's going to be with the glass in. I'm still sticking to the 100 gram mix with, where it's 100 gram of powder and 40 grams of the liquid. This is going on